Facebook Live feed a second anyway. So,
So maybe they don't know. You love us.
They don't know. They don't know. So, yeah, I'm just really incredibly full of gratitude for this class and for having you show up. So thank you so much for being here. I just wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind for the last little bit. And I don't know about you guys, but I've had a lot of time just to do some self-inquiry. And in yoga terminology, this is called swadhyaya, which is self-study, when we're willing to really look at ourselves, our inner workings and our strengths and weaknesses and judgments and all of that. And, you know, I had an experience, so I grew up in Utah County, so just put that in your pipe and smoke it for a second. We don't smoke down there, by the way. So we wear a mask. But I grew up in a very conservative place and, you know, kind of left that. And I think, the long and the short of it is, a good friend of mine from junior high invited me to dinner, bless you. She lives in Salem, and Melanie, if you're watching, hello. But she, you know, and it's interesting because at first I was a little bit like, she's going to judge me. You know, we have kind of different lifestyles now, and I had kind of a reverse judgment going on. Like, does that make sense? You know, sometimes we're so afraid of being judged or feel like we kind of put up a wall and like, well, you're stupid. And and I kind of just noticed a little bit of a bristling. And what happened, my daughter Zoe and my mom, we went down and had this really beautiful, you know, I was thinking they're not going to socially distance, they're not going to wear masks, they're not going to, you know, like that kind of thing. And it was like totally the opposite. And it was such a lovely experience. And it was kind of like, shame on you, Kimberly. You know, I was kind of called on my shit. And, you know, her children were lovely and respectful. They all asked us questions. They were so kind and like heartfelt and generous. And it was just a really good moment for me to learn. And it occurred to me that we can be wrong, right? We can be wrong, and we can make mistakes and call ourselves on it, and then learn and grow for the next experience. And I think that humility is a really important quality to have, especially right now, because we are so divisive. And I talked about this last week a little bit, but we are so divisive, and I feel like it's okay for us to pause and take a deep look at ourselves and recognize that we can change and we can grow and we can make better decisions. And so, and I've had a couple of those the last couple of weeks where I've had to really look myself in the mirror and go, maybe you were wrong with that particular thing. And maybe you need to apologize, or maybe you need to go back and like do this over. And I think for us to get out of this, whatever this is that we're in, but this time of deep conflict, I think we all need to be doing a little bit of that, right? Instead of drawing the line in the sand and like putting up our dukes. So that's what we're going to do today in our practice. Let's soften. Let's release a little bit and foster more connection and community, even with those that we don't necessarily agree with or relate to. And so let's start with our eyes closed, tuning into the breath. Feeling into the body. Giving yourself a few moments here to arrive and to land in your practice. And can you inhale until you're all the way full? And exhale until you're all the way empty. Maybe just expanding a little bit, lengthening just a little bit, both the inhale and the exhale. Not to the point where you're holding the breath or not breathing in a way that feels good to you, but can you increase that capacity of your breath just a little tiny bit? And allow the shoulders to soften down away from the ears. There's a slight uplift of the heart. Good. And then in your own way, let's bring a little bit of movement here to the upper body and torso and spine. So you can start to move a little bit side to side, opening up, awakening things here. You're noticing areas that you're a little bit tight or stiff or sore. And targeting the breath, really focusing the breath on that area. Good. Take one more breath in this way. And then let's go ahead and uncross the legs, bring the hands behind, plant the feet, pull your shoulders back and lift the chest, and just windshield wiper side to side for a couple rounds to start to get a little bit of movement here. Good. And then we're going to stretch the right leg out and pull the left foot in like this. So if you want to turn on your mat so your foot is cushioned, that's fine. But the right leg is out. I'm mirroring you. The left knee is kind of pointing out to the side. And we're going to take the right hand to the right shin, or even drop the hand to the inside of the leg and send the left arm up and over. So you're coming into a side bend, side stretch. Feel your left hip and sits bone root down to the earth. Let your head relax. So it's as though your right ear is moving toward the right knee, and the left fingertips are reaching and extending like they're reaching beyond your right toes. Good. Take another full breath here. Good. And then take your top arm, your left arm, and reach it out to the left. So you're still in this little side bend with an added neck stretch. Think about the crown of your head lengthening kind of forward toward your toward your right toes. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Little neck stretch and still in your side bend. And then leading with that left arm, ease your way back up, and you're going to turn and face your right leg. Lengthening through the spine. You could even reach up through the arms if you'd like. And let's take a forward fold over the right leg. Good. Continuing to elongate on the in-breath and draw a little bit deeper on the out-breath. Good. You guys take one more spacious breath here. And then let's extend back up on in-breath. Bring the left hand back behind you for a little bit of support. And maybe lift up and arch back. So you come up on top of the knee, almost like a side plank with the knee down. Take one more inhale here. And then back down to your seat. Perfect. And we're just going to switch sides. So extend the left leg out to the left. Pull the right heel toward the groin. The left hand can come to the shin, or you can turn the palm up and bring the hand to the inside of the leg. Okay, extend your right arm up and over alongside the ear. So we're coming into this side bend to start. You could always take, again, that hand to the inside of the leg. Reach through the right arm and the fingertips. Press down into the earth, into the ground with your right sits bone. Continue to breathe here along the right side, body and waistline and ribs. Good. Stay in your side bend, but take your right arm out to the right and maybe slightly down for your neck stretch. So your arm is kind of reaching the opposite direction as your body. Good. Couple more breaths here. Imagine your left ear moving closer to your left knee. Good. Take one more breath here. And then leading with your right arm and fingertips, ease your way back up. And now we're going to turn and face the left leg. You can kind of adjust your hips a little bit here. Lengthen up and then fold over the left leg. Opening up here into the hamstrings and the back body. Good. Take your time. Really feel your breath here, moment to moment. Good. Last full breath. And then make our way back upright, stretch up tall, reach. Bring your right hand to the floor, kind of behind you, and then lift up and come into a little side bend or gentle back bend here. Good, just to counter that flexion in the spine and forward folding. Last full breath. And then bring it back down to your seat. Awesome, you guys. All right, shift forward to your hands and your knees. And we'll start to move here a little bit through cat-cow, moving through the spine, rounding the spine on exhale, coming into that cat pose, and opening the heart on the in-breath. Good. Take one more round of breath here. And then we're going to find our way back to kind of a neutral spine. Tuck the toes under and press up into a downward facing dog. So lifting up through the hips, rooting down through the hands and the palms. This first downward dog of practice, take your feet a little bit wider. So the feet are about to the edges of your mat.
And I want you to really push with your right palm and your left heel. So kind of at a diagonal. So your weight is coming off of your right foot and your left hand just a little bit. See if you can really anchor through those 2 points of contact. And then switch it up. So now push with your left hand and your right foot, maybe grounding through your right heel. Maybe and taking some weight off of your left foot and your right hand. Good. Do that one more time on each side. So press through your right hand and your left foot, your left heel. Grounded and opening. And then left hand and right foot. Good. And now see if you can find kind of an equal sense of grounding through all 4 corners. And you can bring your feet back in a little bit so they're more in line with your hips. Bend your knees and look forward, step or hop forward to the top of your mat. Lengthen forward to a flat back, extend your spine. And then exhale, fold. Good, you guys. Ragdoll pose. So let's grab a hold of opposite elbows. Feel your breath here. You might shift forward just a little bit so the weight moves toward the toes. Keep those knees bent as you let your whole upper body hang heavy. Sway side to side if that is comfortable for you. Good. And then release your elbows, ground your feet. Let's come all the way up to standing. So you can put a little bend in your knees, extend and lengthen up through the arms, and lift. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. And take the arms back up on in-breath. So reach up and lengthen. Exhale, dive forward. And fold. Hands down toward the earth. Let your head relax. Flat back as you inhale, lengthen. And then take hands to the floor. We'll make our way to plank, upper, push up. Hold here. Squeeze in toward that midline. Lift at the belly. You can do this from the knees, but we're going to lower down. Chaturanga. So strong through your arms, hug in, point the toes, peel back and open into a little cobra pose. Now, if Sphinx pose would feel better to you right out of the gate, slide your forearms forward and work with that. Opening through the heart, through the chest. And then as you're ready, we'll press our way back to downward facing dog, lifting up through the hips. And breathe here, finding a place that feels contained and grounded, full of breath. Good. One more inhale here. Bend your knees and look forward, step or hop forward toward your hands. Extend your spine, lengthen, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Good. Come all the way up to standing on in-breath. Reach up, lengthen and open. And then exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Let's flow through some classical sun salutations. So inhale, reach up and take your time, go at your pace. Exhale, dive forward and fold. And step your left foot back into a lunge and come down to your left knee. Inhale, extend and lengthen up through the arms. This first time through, you can stay for an extra breath, maybe deepen into the lunge and reach up tall. And then hands to the floor. Now you can step your right foot straight back and just go to down dog and hang out for a breath, or you can move through a vinyasa. So if you want more chaturangas in your practice today, then go ahead and move through that flow. And then the left foot will step through, come down to your right knee, and then extend and lengthen up through the arms. Stay an extra breath. Deepen into the lunge and reach up. And then exhale, hands down. We're going to pick up the back knee and step forward into that forward fold. And then all the way up to standing. Reach up. And hands together at the heart. Good. Let's keep this moving. This time we'll lead with the right leg. So stretch up tall. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot steps back, lunge. Come down to the right knee. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, hands to the floor. Again, you can go right to down dog or move through a chaturanga. And end up in down dog. And then the right foot will step forward, left knee down. Inhale. Exhale, hands down. Pick up the back knee, step forward, back into your fold. All the way up to standing on in-breath, reach up. Exhale, hands together at the heart. Good, keep this moving, arms up, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot steps back, lunge. This time keep the knee off of the mat and come up into a high lunge, crescent lunge. Take an extra breath, deepen into the lunge, strong legs, reaching up tall, and then hands to the floor. Again, you can go right to down dog or move through a chaturanga. Good, you guys, left foot forward, high lunge. So back knee lifted, strong and powerful through the legs. Reach up. Let's stay an extra breath. Deepen into the lunge, reach through your fingertips, and then hands down. Step forward into your fold. Come all the way up to standing, inhale. And then hands gather together at the heart. Good, guys, keep going. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot leads, step it back. Right foot steps back, high lunge. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down. Down dog or chaturanga. Right foot steps forward, lunge. Arms reach up. Exhale, hands down. You're going to end up in a forward fold. Come back to standing, inhale. And then hands back together at the heart. Awesome, you guys. Doesn't this feel good without air conditioning? Reach up, inhale. One more iteration here. Yeah, Bikram. Step the left foot back, lunge. Now keep the hands down, you guys. Take the right arm up, twist. So you're coming into a twisting lunge. The back knee can always stay down, or you can keep it lifted. Take an extra breath here. Right hand down, step to plank or down dog. Move through your chaturanga if you'd like. Totally optional. Left foot forward, lunge. Left arm reaching up, twist. So right hand stays on the floor. Good. Take an extra breath here. Beautiful job. Left hand down, step forward, forward fold. All the way back up to standing. Hands to heart. Good. Last time through, we'll lead with the right leg. Stretch up tall, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot steps back, lunge. Left arm reaches up, twist. Good. And left hand back to the floor. Step back to down dog or move through your vinyasa. Right foot forward, lunge. Right arm reaching up, twist. Right hand back to the floor. Step forward, forward fold. All the way up to standing, inhale.
And hands together at the heart. Good. You guys, pause here for a moment. Close your eyes, feel your breath, root to the earth. Slow it down a little bit. Good. Take the arms back up, inhale. And exhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. So bend your knees and sit. We're going to hang out here for a few breaths. And so rather than flowing, we're going to spend the next little bit just hanging out in the poses a little bit longer. So not that we're going to hold this for 20 minutes, but let's imagine that we were going to hold it for 20 minutes. What would you do? You'd go get a damn chair is what you'd do. No chairs are available to you right now. So what would you do? Maybe bend your elbows. Maybe take the arms back. Maybe pitch the body forward. Maybe clasp. Maybe take the arms forward. Now, I think we have some habits of just wanting to get out of sensation, out of discomfort. So don't just switch it up for the sake of, getting out of your body or out of your discomfort or your heat, but find a place that suits you. See if you can stay there for about 3 more breaths. Good. And then exhale, take it forward, forward fold. Good. Stay here for an extra breath. Extend your spine, flat back, halfway lift. Take hands down and step or hop it back. Chaturanga optional, lowering down if you're working that way. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Good. Feel the ground with your hands. Send your right leg into the air, reaching through your toes. Good. Now, think about your hips staying level. In fact, you might even think about your left hip and sits bone lifting just a little bit in this pose. Good. Reach through the right toes. Take your right leg up 1 more little inch. See if you can extend even more. And then as you exhale, pull your right knee in toward the chest. Lift the belly. Stay here for an extra breath. Get the leg up even higher. And step the foot through for a high lunge. And we're gonna start, you guys. Let's keep the fingertips on the ground for just a second. Sorry, I didn't tell you that soon enough. But keep the fingertips on the ground a second. Really engage your legs. So at a certain point, your fingertips can actually unweight. So you're powering your legs up, squeezing toward midline. Take the arms back for a breath or 2. Try to squeeze your shoulder blades on the back. Push with your back toes like you're trying to launch the crown of your head forward. And then send your arms forward and lift all the way up. And as you come up, maybe bend your back knee a little bit. Okay, taking some of that stress or strain out of the low back. If it feels good to have that back leg straight, that's fine. 2 more breaths here. Deepen into the lunge. Power through your legs. Lift up through your chest. Beautiful. Take your hands to the floor. You're going to inch the hands forward a little bit beyond the toes and pick up this back leg for standing splits. So fingertips can stay on the floor or blocks. Or maybe you take the right hand and forearm back behind the calf and fold it in. Good. Feel your breath. See if you can get that
left leg up just a little bit higher. Nice. And then step the left foot to the very back of your mat and walk your hands over to that left side. So you're coming into Prasarita Padottanasana, wide straddle, forward fold. Flat back as you inhale, and then fold it in. Can you feel the ground firmly through the inner and the outer edges of your feet? So you're not rolling to one side or the other of the foot. Engage through your quads and inner thighs, a little lift of the belly, and then just let your whole upper body relax here. Good. Take another full breath. And then we're going to extend the spine, halfway lift. Hands to hips, connect to core. Come all the way up to standing. Beautiful. Turn your right toes forward. Bend your right leg, warrior two. So extend out through the arms. If you need to adjust a little bit your feet or your stance, that's fine too. Shoulders soft and relaxed. Perfect, you guys. Make sure that right knee isn't getting kind of pulled over. Keep it open. And like if it kept going forward, it would go directly over your toes. Take another breath here. And then you're going to bring the right elbow toward the right knee for side angle pose, Parsvakonasana. Take your left arm and stretch it forward alongside your ear. And think about your pinky finger kind of pointing down toward the floor and your thumb kind of pointing up. Good. Push with your back toes. Turn the heart a little more open. Maybe slide your right hand down to the ground or a block and extend your left arm straight up. If it feels better to you to just have your arm extending forward, that's fine too. Notice your breath here, you guys. Take one more. Gaze down at the floor. You're going to come into a balance, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So float that back leg up. For a little extra challenge today, keep your left arm and your left leg in the air. Put a little bend in your standing leg. Gaze down at the floor. Take the right hand away from the floor and bring it to the heart. Last breath, you guys. Now take your left hand to the floor. Step your left foot back about 3/4 of the way back. We're going to set up for pyramid pose. So I'm going to suggest that you come all the way up to standing to arrange this thing. So if you look, we want to have the hips level. And if I were standing with my feet together, right, or next to each other, I would be in mountain pose. So I don't want my feet to be like right next to each other or like in a tightrope, on a tightrope. I want to have a little bit of space, the right foot a little right of center, and the left foot a little left of center. And the back toes are angled almost forward. So you can do this mudra, this namaste prayer position behind the back if you want to. So you'd reach the arms out and take the arms behind you, bringing the palms together and the thumbs point up toward the upper back or between the shoulder blades, moving in that direction. If that's too much, then you can always let it go. Take an inhale and lift. Exhale, start to come forward. Continue to pull your right hip and thigh back as you extend through the crown. Keep your feet anchored and start to fold it in. And you can always release the arms from behind the back and take the fingertips to the ground or to blocks. Okay, so if this is feeling like it's too much pressure on the hamstrings or the hip or the knee or any of your joints, okay? So take a couple more breaths here. Good. And then put a little bend in your front leg so the hands can come all the way down. Step back to plank pose. We're going to shift the weight into the right hand, the right palm, roll to the outer edge of the right foot for side plank or Vashisthasana. Flex your toes back toward the shins or maybe come down to that right knee. Good. Lots of variations here. So you could pick up your left leg. You could even come into a side tree variation or even try to reach and grab your big toe. Lots of different options. Last breath here. Good, you guys, back to plank. You're going to come right to your knees. Hallelujah. Take the knees a little wider and reach the right arm up into the air and thread the needle. Good. You guys take another breath. And then unwind out of that. Send the right arm back out. Reach it up. Back to the floor. You can bring your knees back in a little bit. And let's take 3 big circles with the hips going clockwise. If you want to hang out in child's pose for a moment, you can work with that. Good. And let's make our way back to center and go back to a downward facing dog. Hips up. Good. And with mindful movement, you're going to extend the left leg back behind. Stretch it up. So again here, try to keep the hips level. In fact, you might consider lifting up just a little bit through your right hip and sits bone to keep it lifted and level with the other, because sometimes we kind of sink into that side with the leg down. Take another breath. See if you can reach up a little bit higher through your left toes, left leg. Pull your left knee in toward the chest. Lift and engage your core. Hold for a breath. And then step your foot through into a lunge. Now we're going to keep the hands down on the floor for a moment. Fire up your legs. So imagine that left hip pulling back, right hip forward. Squeeze and engage and take your hands away. So you're engaging through your legs. Take your arms back along your sides. Put a little bend in your elbows. Try to squeeze those shoulder blades toward one another. Push with your back toes and lengthen forward through your crown. And then send the arms forward alongside the ears and lift all the way upright. Maybe put a little bend in your back knee or keep it straight. Take a couple more breaths here, you guys. Strong in your lunge, reaching, lengthening out through the arms and the torso. And then exhale, hands down. We're going to pick up the back leg for standing splits. So root with your left foot, strong and steady, as you float that right leg up. You can have your hands on the ground or on blocks, or maybe wrap your left hand and forearm around your calf. Couple more breaths here, you guys. Lengthening up through that right leg. Beautiful job. Now, step your right foot to the back of the mat and walk your hands to the right side. So Prasarita, Padottanasana. Anchor the feet, flat back as you inhale. And then exhale again, let's fold. Firmly rooted through the inner and the outer edges of the feet here. Now you can take a different variation if you'd like. Maybe unweighting the hands or clasping the hands behind the back. Get a little shoulder stretch here. Good, nice breathing, you guys. Take one more here. And release out of that, flat back as you inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips, connect to your core, come all the way up to standing. Turning the left toes forward for warrior two. So bend through that left leg and extend out through your arms. Find your legs here. Keep your hips and your pelvis open so your knee isn't getting tugged. So if you kept bending that left knee, it would extend directly beyond your left toes. Take another full breath here. Your left elbow will come to your left knee for Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. Take your right arm forward alongside your ear. Push with your right toes. And see if you can flip your palm a little bit so your pinky toe points down and your thumb points up. I guess I should clarify, you're like doing an inner spiral, not an outer spiral. Take a couple more breaths here. Maybe take that left hand down to the ground and send your right arm up for a couple more breaths in this side angle. Good, you guys. Gaze down at the floor, sitting up for our balance, Ardha Chandrasana. So picking up this right leg, sending the right arm up. And again, for a little extra challenge here, you could put a little bend in your left leg, connect to core, take the left hand to the heart. Good. Last breath here in your balance. Right hand comes down. You're going to step that right foot about 3/4 of the way back on the mat, sitting up for Parsvottanasana or pyramid. So let's come all the way up to standing. Hands to hips. So again, we want to have the feet just a little bit separated, so not on a tightrope. Squaring off the hips, those back toes angled almost forward. Maybe come into this reverse prayer mudra with the palms together behind the back. And if you know that doesn't serve you, you can skip it and take your hands to the blocks or to the floor. Lift up through your chest, hug the left hip back just a little bit, and start to pitch the body forward. Keep the spine lengthening as you continue to fold it in. Good, you guys, last full breath here. And bring the hands down to the floor. Bend your front leg enough so you can step it back. Plank pose. Shift your weight into your left hand. Roll to the outer edge of that left foot for side plank, Vashisthasana. Flex your toes back toward your shins. Pull your hips up. And you could try a different variation, picking up that right leg or side tree or binding your toe. Last breath here. Bring it all the way back to plank and come right down to your knees. Knees a little wider. Take your left arm out and up. Thread the needle. That left arm underneath your right. Good, you guys. Keep breathing here. Good. Let's go ahead and unwind out of that, taking your left arm out and up, and bring the hand back to the floor. And we're going to take 3 big circles going counterclockwise. If child's pose would feel like a good option here, you can work with that. Good, you guys. And then let's go ahead and make our way back to downward facing dog. One last hurrah here, everybody. So the right leg in the air, stretch it up. Bend your leg this time and turn and lift your hips. So try to keep that left foot anchored and don't compromise your shoulders here. Step the right foot through for a warrior 2. I'm going to talk you through just a couple of progressions. We're going to come back to side angle. So right elbow to knee, left arm can extend forward. And if you want to work a little bit deeper, take that right hand down to the inside of the foot and send your left arm up toward the ceiling. Maybe that's where you stay. Or try a bind. Take the left arm behind the back, drop your right shoulder down, and clasp your hands around your back outer hip. Maybe that's your pose, or if you want to take it one step further, let's work with bird of paradise. So look down at the floor, step your back foot forward, shift your weight into your left foot, pick up your right leg. Come on, you guys, do it. And then stretch your leg up. Should turn the camera on, you guys. I keep falling out of the pose. And then you can let's just abort mission, shall we? It is bloody hot in here. Woo! Okay. We got to do the other side, and then we can do Shavasana. Okay, let's hurry up. Okay. Okay, so just step your left foot forward. Let's just do this, okay?
Skip it, and then you say there's a glitch, to the...
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, it just skipped that part. Hopefully you did it all. We already did the other side. Namaste. Okay, left leg forward, warrior 2. I can't remember the last time I just said, okay, just switch legs, right in the middle. Left elbow to knee, right arm stretching forward, lengthen. Good. Maybe drop that left hand down, right arm up. Perfect. And then right arm behind your back. If you want to work with this bind, wrap that left arm underneath and feel into that clasp. And maybe that's where you stay. That's really fine. Or you could step your right foot forward, shifting the weight into your right foot, picking up the left leg. Try to keep your knee close to your shoulder, and then maybe extend this leg. It's like one of those tops that you wind up and like, bing, and you spin around. Whew. Good job, guys. Shake it off. Let's find our way onto our backs, shall we? Yeah, it is time. It is time. So find your way onto your backs. Can you believe today we did no dolphin and no pigeon? It's still early, guys. We could still do it. We're going to pick up your right leg, cross the ankle over top your left thigh for a figure 4 stretch. Maybe pick up that left foot and pull this structure in a little bit. Let's just feel into the hips and the low back. You can rock this side to side. Good, last full breath here. And we're going to go ahead and release and uncross the legs, bring the knees together, and then just drop both knees to your left. So you're moving into a spinal twist. Stretch your right arm out to the right. Good. Take one more cleansing breath here. And let's bring the knees back through center. And we'll cross left ankle over top the right leg, figure 4 stretch. Maybe pick up your right foot and hold on to that leg. Take another full breath here. And release and uncross the legs, pull the knees in, and drop both knees to your right for your spinal twist. And extend that left arm out to your left. You know what that means? That means it got above 85 in here. Good. Let's bring the knees back in toward the chest. And if you'd like to take a happy baby pose or an inversion or a bridge pose or any last finishing sequence, you can work with that. Take your time. And we're going to settle into Shavasana, corpse pose. And we'll spend the last few minutes of our practice in this grounded stillness.
And can you begin to expand your breath and to open up your senses a little bit here? And start to move the body. And making your way over to your side. And then back up to your seat on your mat. And so before we officially end our practice this morning, I'd like to send you with just a little bit of homework to work on admitting when you're wrong. And maybe that involves an apology or a forgiveness or a little shift in your heart. And it certainly requires some humility. So let's extend and lengthen up through the arms, reach up. Gather this beautiful energy we've cultivated here to your heart. And we'll finish with one round of Om. Take a full breath in. Om. Namaste.